Yo, what's up, everybody? Let's do this. Let's hunt for a trade today. Let's do it. On the weekends, I think it would be a good idea. It's like Saturdays, Sundays to stream publicly. And then weekdays, I work with the Discord group. I think that's a good routine. I'll give it a few minutes for some people to log on. Hello, everybody. Hey, look, it's Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. I'm just kidding. Good night, and okay, so we're gonna take a look at the market today. I'm not keeping a lot of funds online. Never trust an exchange. Okay, if you have $100,000, you're better off to keep like $80,000 on your nano ledger and then keep 20,000 on the exchange and then leverage. Okay, it's way better that way because you really don't want to trust an exchange, guys. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something very new and cute. Hang on. You want to say hi to the camera? This is Tokyo. Say hi to the camera, Tokyo. Unfortunately, the other dog we got 2 weeks ago passed away because the owner gave the dog to us without a vaccination, and the dog already had distemper when we had that puppy, and they also lied about the age. They said the dog was 8 weeks, but it was actually only 6 weeks. So we got another puppy that has her passport. We brought her to the vet. She has her first vaccination. She does not have distemper or parvo. She's super healthy. And she's also 11 weeks old. So say hi to Tokyo. Hi, Tokyo. You are going to become the best trader in the world. I'm going to teach you how to leverage times 100. I'm going to teach you how to liquidate daddy's account, okay? That's what you can do. Okay, I'm going to put her away, then we're going to start the live stream. You guys are going to see her a lot on the live stream. She is a toy poodle. Incredibly smart. I fucking love her to death. Okay, let's go back, okay? 1 minute, guys, and then we start.
Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie pie. Hi, sweetie. So silly. You're so stupid.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, Luna's in Canada. She's not really my dog anymore. My parents took her over. My parents like low-key kidnapped her, and just kind of it worked out better that way. So yeah, hold on. I just gotta change my settings here. I fucked it up. Damn. Hold on. No, I screwed it up. Do you guys see my screen? It's shifted. Okay, there we go. Okay, so anyways, don't keep a lot on your exchange. Like myself, I keep 15K. I leverage times 3, 4, and that's all right. As long as you have the funds set aside, right? If you have the funds set aside, that's okay. But don't don't leverage if you don't actually have the funds, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks always because my channel is geared towards day traders and I want to see people not make dumb mistakes, okay? So for the past 4 days, 2 coins have been trending hard, and it was UMA and also API 3, okay? You have to think about trading like this, and I'm going to show you guys. Think about trading as 2 spectrums, okay? This is a spectrum of trading, okay? Do you guys understand what I mean? A spectrum of trading. On one side over here, you might have something like, very, very little volatility. You might have sideways movement. You might have like, no range, like no real range, little volume, right? Like, it's trending back and forth above 50 EMA, like no clear direction, Like, do you guys get what I mean? These kind of coins, you don't really want to touch them, right? Because, well, why would you want to focus on a coin that has little volatility, sideways movement, no range, little volume, trending back and forth? It's, trending back and forth above the 50 EMA, no clear direction, right? Like, why would you take one of these trades? Doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? Right? Because if you go into the trade, it might just sideways forever. So if you think about it from that perspective of what not to take, then the trade that you should take is probably one with more volatility, right? So now let's think of the other side of the spectrum, okay? So the other side of the spectrum is FAR. It would be something ridiculous, okay? It would be something like, hold on, where is this? I don't see it. I was just trying to type there. Oh, okay, hang on. So on this side, you might something have like extreme volatility. Like we're talking about extreme movement, right? And volatility is defined by the average true range, okay? So then you're also gonna have parabolic movement, okay? So it's not like this is a linear movement, okay? A linear movement is predictable and it's moving to the right in terms of time, proportionately to how much it's going upwards in price. That's a linear movement, okay? A parabolic movement refers to something like where, like a linear movement. You guys see the squares right on my screen? See, so the square boxes, the grid here, one movement to the left, one movement up, or sorry, to the right, one movement up, one movement to the right, one movement up, one movement to the right, one movement up, right? So this here creates a line. Understand? This is called a linear movement where it's moving proportionally. But a parabolic movement does not behave like that. A parabolic movement, it begins with maybe at first, but then instead of moving to the right once in terms of time, it moves upwards much more in terms of time, okay, than price-wise. And then now it moves for time-wise, it moves the same amount, but the price movement goes up higher. So here we're jumping one box up, then two boxes up, then three boxes up, and here 4 boxes up. And what happens if you connect a line through all of them, okay? So if you connect a line through all of them, you get a excuse me for drawing it crappy, but you get a parabolic movement, okay? These are by far the most dangerous types of coins to trade. What I'm giving you right now is the extreme, the opposite of this end over here, okay? And this needs to be really understood, okay? Because this is how you're going to help you manage your risk. So on this side, you got some parabolic movement, okay? Unpredictable Elliott wave theory, okay? Right? And extending far from EMA, okay? Like really far from the EMA, okay? No clear patterns. Okay, no clear patterns in any way. Like extremely large green candles, right? So when you think about, there's many more factors that will define the opposite of this side. So when you think about the opposite of this side over here, this is it right here, right? Extreme volatility, parabolic movement, unpredictable Elliott wave theory, extending far from the EMA, no clear patterns, extremely green candles, and even negative funding rate, okay? Negative funding rate of like say -2 to -3%, right? So that's something that's gonna define pretty much a really crazy type of moving coin. So when you think about these kinds of coins, sure, there's going to be a lot more opportunity to make a lot of money, right? In terms of, yeah, it's moving a lot. You can make a shit ton of money from it. But then you have to also understand this one massive portion. There's extreme risk, okay? There's massive risk. There's a high potential, okay? It's high potential to lose huge amounts. And this needs to be completely understood, all right? So if you think about this trade, like this side of the spectrum, it's too dangerous, okay? So I got pissed off at my Discord group yesterday because, just as an example, there's one guy in my Discord group, he's been in the group for like almost 3 years now, okay? Literally 3 years now. And he's still leveraging ×5. And he's trading with under $10,000. So he's got like $2,000 in his account. He's leveraging it to times 5. And he's going for these types of coins. Literally, he's trying to go for these types of coins like UMA or API 3. So I called him out on it. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You've been trading for 3 years now. You can't even grow your account by more than $2,000. You're leveraging times 5 and you're going for the shittiest motherfucking picks out there. Like, just stop trading. Go back to your fucking job. Like, literally, like, if you don't understand it after 3 years from now, you know, even after taking my courses, there's nothing that's going to help you become a successful trader. You must understand these core concepts at the beginning of your trading career. So these are no-goes, okay? Both of these here, this zone and that zone, they're no-goes. You don't fucking touch these kinds of coins. So what you got to do is you got to set a criteria for you to trade somewhere in the middle, where there's a delicate balance between both of these sides, okay? Where there's not too little volatility, but there is some volatility, enough for you to capitalize. Where there's not a sideways movement and not a parabolic movement, but somewhere in the middle, okay? Where it is ranging, right, but not ranging too much. Where there's like actual clear patterns as well. And the candles are making sense, and the funding rate is neutral as well, right? And there's a potential to lose, but balance with a good potential to also win. Do you guys understand that? So you must define your criteria to find successful trades and make money long term. Because if you're just going for these kind of coins, you're going to get fucked. Like, you might win 1 or 2 or 3 and get lucky, but the chances of you sustaining this type of rhythm and momentum to keep winning on the craziest coins to trade, you will fucking lose 100% long term. I guarantee it. There's a reason why coins like, I'm going to delete this now. You guys can rewind and screenshot if you want, whatever. There's a reason why coins like let me just show you UMA. Okay, UMA was a crazy fucking bitch to deal with. Yesterday it moved 175%. Okay, these coins, you are not in control of shit. You're just a sheep. Okay, we're all sheep. Even if you have a few $1 million, you're sheep. Like, no joke. Because the people controlling, like, let me just give you perspective yesterday. In here, okay? So right here, yesterday, this is 1.05, 1,059,000. Yeah, 1,059,000,000 coins were traded here. See the volume up there? So in the past 4 days, literally like $6 billion were traded. Do you think that your $10,000 or $100,000 is even going to make a dent in it? No. Okay? The people that are causing this rally, they're the ones heavily influencing the market. Their job, like, we got to remember, this is a competitive game. This is not a game where everybody wins. This is a game where you get fucked and I make money, and other way around possibly sometimes too. The more people that get fucked over in this game and lose money, it's just a transfer of wealth, man. Like, when you're making money day trading, you're not really making money. You're just extracting profits from the market. That's what you're doing. And you're taking your money from someone else, literally. Okay, so don't think for a moment that you can actually trade these kinds of coins where the coin is moving up 59% there, or it's moving up like 84% in hours. These guys are just waiting for you to believe that they have software that you cannot even imagine. These algos out there, okay? They got fucking, like, there are programmers out there that are so talented, and these mathematicians, they will run circles behind us when it comes to day trading. Their job is to see how many people are logging it so they can dump on everybody or short, or to see how many people are shorting it, right? So they can actually just liquidate everyone and cause a gigantic rally instead. So what I'm saying is you have to understand the safety and the parameters of how you can extract profit in this market. Because if you go towards coins like UMA or API 3, just as an example, okay? Like API 3 was just as fucking bad, right? This is what happened to API 3. It was a bitch to trade this. The only way you could have maybe taken a good trade here was maybe to watch for a break like that. And if you take a look at it from chandelier exit, it was fucking hard, man. You were not really able to see anything here. Maybe on the 5 minute, right? Yeah, on the 5 minute, it would have been a pretty good trade, right? Because it was trending here. right? And it was the next wave after, perhaps on the 5-minute, you could have shorted it, right? But it was still really fucking hard to catch. And the only way to catch a long on this is if you're using the ATR. That's it. Like the only way to trade the super parabolic coins is if you're looking at the ATR, you're spotting where it bounces, you're waiting for the next time it gets really close, and you just take a chance. You enter when it gets really close, and then you say to yourself, I will stop myself out no matter what, when it starts to go below the green line. This is literally the only fucking way to trade it. Or if you're noticing some clear pattern. But as you see here, right, this is in 20 minutes. There's really no pattern that's forming, man. Like in 20 minutes, all that you're doing is breaking above the high. So this is what I'm saying, that it's very impossible to trade these coins. So make sure you are using your fucking brain wisely and you understand the risk. Because a good trader, they don't give a shit about the profits that they make, because that is a bonus of the good trades that they take. And a good trader only thinks about, damn, how much could I actually lose? Because a good trader, compared to a bad trader, we think about how to protect our capital. We think about how to preserve it, okay? We don't just go like headstrong into the big green dildo and have this massive FOMO. Like, I don't give a shit about a coin that's rallying, because based off of my stats, I win over 70% of my trades, and the calls that I make on Discord, they're probably about 80% accurate, I'd say. I don't take all of the trades, but the ones that I call are really accurate. So you have to be very careful about the selection of the coins that you choose to trade. So whether it's in real life or trading, the same shit. If you marry the wrong person, it can fuck up your life so bad, because your wife or your husband or your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, those people are going to be in your life more than the majority of anybody else out there. When you're my age, 40, you're not going to have a lot of friends anymore, trust me. When you're like 30 and you have a mortgage and you start paying for your mortgage and you have responsibilities, we don't give a shit about going out as much. Why would we want to go to spend money in public when we can just enjoy spending time in our house because we're paying for the mortgage? Does that make sense? Trust me, when you're 40, you will understand that your partner is so important. Because I have a good point. So listen, because you spend a lot of time with them. If you choose the wrong partner, man, your life could be a living fucking hellhole. And it's just like the trade as well. If you focus on choosing the right trade, you will ultimately be much more successful than going for those shitty trades every single time. That could end up fucking wrecking you, okay? So let's get to trading. I'm done giving you guys a speech about this. So let's look for a trade today. Bitcoin, I'm going to summarize it in 3 minutes, okay? Bitcoin to me is very bearish. This is my prediction, okay? My prediction is going to be how this is a wave 1. This is a very shallow retracement of only a 382, okay? So because it's a very shallow retracement of a 382, okay, I'm expecting it to probably give a deeper retracement over here. But the weekly, okay, the weekly EMA says that it's likely to hit above. You guys see the green line there? Based off of the chandelier exit indicator, 35K right now is a very valid target. So if anything goes below 35K, then the momentum will have changed and the volatility will have changed for the year. So I'm expecting somewhere, probably maybe even a wick below. But right here, guys, between 34 and 37K, leading up to the halving, maybe till like June or July or something like that. Or not June, but probably between March and June, I expect that target to be hit. And quote me on that if you like. And then after that, we start the wave 5. I would think that we're going to get a gigantic drop by the end of the year because all 5 waves will now be completed. Okay. And then leading up to 2025, after this retracement completes, we will have a fucking mega bull rally. That's my anticipation, okay? So let's now take a look at some altcoins. Let's look for, well, UMA, you gotta check. First thing you check is the volume and also the funding rate, okay? If the funding rate is reasonable, trade it, okay? So look at the first warning. The funding rate settlement frequency of UMA has been updated. So the frequency, when they say that now it's -2%. So when they say the frequency, they're referring to how often it can change. Usually it's every 8 hours, but if the funding rate, if there's such a discrepancy between the futures market and the spot market, it's gonna be like every 4 hours instead of every 8 hours, okay? You don't wanna trade this coin, okay? Do you guys understand what this means? It means that the spot price is fucked up, okay? The spot price is so heavily bought, and there's a big difference between the spot and the futures price. Do you see right here? This is the spot price, this is the futures price. So what they do is they put a negative funding rate, okay? Negative funding rate in the futures. So what this does is it encourages people to long, because at the end of the countdown of this funding rate cycle, anybody in a long position will actually get an extra 2%. So if you're in a $10,000 position with the year before, near the end of 2022, okay? So hold on, do you guys still see me? Am I streaming? Okay, never mind. Okay, it's good. Okay, so funding rate, you don't want to fuck around with it. Like it's something you just want to avoid it, right? Like I mentioned earlier, it's one of the criterias to avoid, okay? So why bother even looking at it? It's automatically like, there's no way I'm touching this coin. There's no way anybody should touch this coin. There's just too much risk. But, you might want to consider longing it maybe if there's a possible pattern. But that's the only scenario, right? Like, look how fucked up this is. On a 5% candle, there's a 10% wick. There's a 10% wick. Why would you want to trade that, right? Like, why on earth would you want to trade a coin that has a fucking 10% wick? It makes no sense at all. So avoid it. So now let's look at another. First thing you always do is just go towards the most volatile coin. So sort it by over here, okay, the most volatile coin. And the second way that you do is just open up this crypto screener that you guys know I always have and look for a coin that's trending over 10% and likely, or most, what we would prefer is over 100K or 100 million rather. And there's only RLC. And unfortunately, UMA gets completely eliminated because of the funding rate. So today, overall, just by looking at the market, it's shitty based off of what's trending today. But that's where the new indicator of mine comes in. So we can scan this whole market if you guys want, right? We can do it in under 10 minutes, but it's already been 23 minutes into the stream. So I don't want to, I'm going to do every second coin. How about that? Okay. So let's just do every second coin. You guys can save your indicator settings if you don't know. Okay. So this one is saved. So this one here is saved to number 2. This one is saved to number 3. This one's saved to number 4. Okay. So now all my indicator settings are loaded. So if you guys want to screenshot the settings, you're welcome to. It's right here. So this is the first one is the 15-minute over 8 hour with a 3% stop loss range and a 5% range. And then you guys can screenshot and set it however you want. So UMA is off of the table. Fuck it. We're not touching UMA, no matter what. And Pendle is like a really good coin to be looking at long term. Because if you take a look at it, it's been trending over 90% already. So that coin deserves to be on the watch list, okay? I'm just going to take every coin off here for now. Am I lagging, guys? My stream says it's good. My stream says it's like solid, so it might be you. Okay, so Pendle deserves to be on our list long term. Let's just look for 4-hour coins, okay? Let's look for this one or this one lighting up. Okay, that's it. Let's just do this so fucking fast. So RLC is another great coin that has done multitudes. It did 75%, okay? So that coin deserves to be on here too. Okay, so Astro as well. This coin's a great coin to be looking at, okay? So this column, the first column and the third column needs to be green. Otherwise, I'm not interested. Watch how fast I can do this with you guys, okay? And it's best that you pay attention if you want to know. People in my Discord group are like, Phil, can you explain to me your reasoning for the coins that you choose or don't choose? And like, what? You want me to give you a too long didn't read version? Like, you should be watching how I scan for the coins and my narration, because then you'll get a clue of why I'm picking it or why I'm not picking it. But a lot of people just fast forward to the end and they want to know the watch list. But, You know what I mean? So you got to put in the work as well. Pyth is a decent coin as well because you're looking for the first and the third column to light up green on either this time frame here, the 4 hour or the 1 hour. So this will go very fast. I'm going to ignore the ones that are green here for now. I'm not looking for short-term volatility. I'm looking for a time frame that's high and where I can make a gigantic swing position because I just got the puppy and time is running short. So I want to look for big positions rather than just day trading, right? So this is really, really fast. Do you guys see how fast I'm going? Because your eye just gets trained to look for the first column and the third column. You don't care about anything else. If it's gray, you just ignore it, right? So we don't really have a lot, if you've noticed. We only found 3 coins so far. And we've done like about a quarter of the watch list of 200 already. So this just goes to show that there's not really... Well, this coin's crazy. API 3, but that's one of the shit coins, right? So with high funding rate. So you got to make a decision. Do I keep it on my watch list or do I not? Well, I'm going to check out the funding rate first of all to see if it's viable. So the funding rate is negative 0.7. It's reasonable. So I'll put that on my watch list for now. But anything that's negative, like 2%, fuck no, I'm not touching that coin, okay? There's no way I'm looking at that coin because I've been burned before and I understand the major risks associated with going for those types of coins. And there's a lot of better coins there's a lot of better coins to choose. Let's just say that you're like in the dating scene, okay? Like, you know, you're like looking for a girlfriend, just for example, like myself back then, okay? I made a lot of crypto money, like in 2017. That was the year where things really broke out for me. And what did I do? I started spending it on bad fucking bitches that were hot. You know, they took advantage of me because I didn't really know myself back then at all, right? They took advantage of me. They were super hot, right? They were super toxic for me. And I just kept going for those types of chicks. They were fun, right? They were super volatile, but they were toxic and just horrible for me. It's kind of like choosing a shitty coin, right? Like, sure, they might be fun to trade. Sure, API 3, UMA is really fun to trade. But clearly, I could find a better partner. Do you know what I mean? And once I decided to change my standards of what's acceptable in a relationship, my life really improved because I met my wife, right? And just like you're choosing a coin to trade as well, you must be able to have the ability to understand what a good coin is and what a bad coin is. Otherwise, if you keep choosing the shitty coins, you will get liquidated eventually, okay? You cannot FOMO towards the coin just because it's moving. You have to really think about the dangers of it. Like, for example, and also, like, if it's too volatile, if there's no pattern, if it's parabolic, you know, you shouldn't be like, oh, this is a really good coin to make money on. No, it should be like, this is a coin I probably should stay away from because I can get fucked on it. And not only that, if you decide to trade any coin that is extremely volatile because you understand that there's a greater possibility for a reward, right? The greater the risk, the greater a coin is moving in a crazy way, right? The greater the possible reward as well. But with that reward, you must understand your position sizing, okay? Your position sizing is critical to your long-term success too. You can't just like trade the most volatile coin that you see of the week, right? You can't just trade 100% of your position size and leverage times 5. You can't do that shit. Like, you got to reduce that position size because you must understand that there's a lot of greater risk to lose even more. So you got to really use your brain and understand, I got to scale back. I could make just as much if I trade smaller because of the amount of volatility there is and because of the type of coin that it is, right? Even though I'm saying all this shit, I'm sure that most of you, or I'm sure all of you are agreeing and you're like, yep, I know all of this. This makes a lot of sense. But the question is, do you actually have the discipline to execute what you know is good for you and what is right? Not many people do. For example, when people are trying to stop themselves out, right? I haven't found a single coin since then, so I'm just going to keep going. So, for example, everybody knows they need to stop themselves out one point or another. But I'll bet you anything that many of you, when you get to that stop loss, you're still staring at it for a few more seconds or a few more minutes or a few more percentages. And then after you like can't stop yourself out because you're still dreaming and hoping about the coin actually reversing, right? And then now you say to yourself, oh crap, this is a fucking disaster now. I could have stopped myself out 5% ago or 10% ago. And then now you're just like really fucked because you didn't stop yourself out. Even though you knew you needed to do it, you still didn't, right? You know what I mean? So even though you know something, that's completely different than being actually able to execute it. So you must find it within yourself. You got to dig deep and find that discipline. Only you can teach you your own discipline. You know, people are always like, Philakone, how do I build more discipline? I'm like, and I always tell them to write it in a fucking book. And honestly, like to build a discipline, you got to make things a habit. And you have to practice it over time slowly and not waver from it. You know what I mean? That's the best way to do it. So right now there's really nothing at all. So based off of everything we've done here, okay, this is also good to do once in a while on a high time frame only. This one's too low. It's not moving for shit, so I'm not touching it. So what we've concluded is this, okay? We actually only put 5 coins on the trending list here. And of these 5 coins, out of 245 coins on the watch list, 5 coins are moving. Okay, that's it. Or 5 coins are trending bullishly. That's it. And there's UMA as well, but we're leaving that one out. So what we can conclude is that because Bitcoin is most likely moving to the downside, all the coins are also following Bitcoin right now, except for some. Some will move against what Bitcoin is doing, but it's really rare. There's always the exception of some will rally when Bitcoin's dropping. But if Bitcoin drops hard enough, every coin is going to follow Bitcoin as well. But these coins are actually doing decent. So then we take a look at each one of these, okay? So we say Pendle, well, it's actually doing great. So then we would do a TA on each and every single one of these coins. And Pendle's a newer coin on Binance here. So this coin here is going to get a private TA, as in like a one-on-one TA. You look at it, and then you're going to try to find a pattern that on a lower time frame where you might be able to find a long. Or because this is the 4-hour, you say to yourself, well, maybe we can find something trending. Like right now, the 4-hour bounce, right? So if it gets close to the 4-hour again, you might want to long it. RLC, very similar case, okay? But maybe there's a better time frame. Let's take a look at a 3-hour. Look at this time frame. The 2-hour time frame is so damn tight, right? So tight. The 90 breaks red to green, so that's not the best. So the 2-hour, every time it got to it, it bounced. So maybe if it gets to it again, it'll bounce. So what you'd want to do is put an alert closer to that green line. So I would go to every time the price is less than that, and then you can drag it and drop it. So if it gets close to there, you'll know, okay? And then Pendle, let's go back to it. It's all about alerts, man. I'm telling you, alerts. I'm just going to put a little alert here to see if it's going to break above the current high. Because if it breaks above it, there might be a pattern, right? And then Pendle, I'm also going to put, for example, if it gets close to the previous low, because then it might bounce and find a temporary support, right? So then you got a sandwich. You have a sandwich between a low and a high. So Pendle, we know that it might break up or down, and we're prepared either way. And then you take a look at a coin like ASTR, where this coin's, it's been trending hard. Like it's been trending secretly hard with low volume. 73% over 10 days, okay? So this coin just recently broke a high. Do you guys see it? Like it literally broke the January high. So I'd probably want to put an alert, but you'd have to go to a lower time frame, right? You can put an alert on any time frame and it's going to show up on all of the charts. Always go to greater than or less than. Always let it trigger every minute, okay? Don't go to once, go to every minute, okay? This was on by accident. So it's going to read every time the price is greater than that, it's going to notify you once a minute. So that's how it's read out loud. Does that make sense? Whereas if you go to something stupid like crossing up, it's going to read every time it crosses up this price, it's going to notify you. That's it. But it has to actually cross it, right? So if it crosses it once, it's going to stop notifying you, right? It's only going to notify you the first time. So always go to greater than or less than, okay? So now we know that if it breaks above a high over here, then I might be notified of it, and it's going to tell me that there's a chance for me to long it. And then we take a look at Pyth, same situation. Actually, ASTR, I forgot to put an alert on the low side as well. So I always put an alert near a support. So in this case, it's near chandelier exit and above the current high. This way, if it breaks upwards, I might be able to trade a continuation. Pyth, the exact same thing, okay? The exact same thing. I'll put a high up here, greater than. I'm sure that I'll find a trade today, or less than, okay? Or less than over here. So now I got all my alerts set up above or below. API 3, this coin's fucking crazy, but maybe it's gonna break another high. You never know. So I already have an alert above the previous high. Okay, so if you take a look here on the 4 hour, what do you see? You see that it actually almost got to it and it bounced, right? It ended up bouncing like 14%. Maybe you could have entered it with like a 2-3% stop loss if you were watching it, but I wasn't. It was too early. It was 7 in the morning. So that's it. We have concluded a whole analysis on, first of all, Bitcoin, and also we found 5 coins that might do something sometime soon. And these 5 coins are the only 5 coins on all of Binance that's actually trending slightly bullishly compared to every other coin that's trending bearishly right now. Okay, I'm just going to take a look at the chat very quickly. Nothing interesting, so I'm signing off, guys. I just wanted to give you my opinion today of the market and also tell you what most likely I'll be trading today. Okay, anyways, thank you for joining me. Have a great rest of the Sunday, and I really appreciate you guys always taking your time out of the day to watch my videos. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everyone.